Okay, so now that I've finally had some time to actually really mess around with the infinite beta, uh, hmm. In my opinion, there's probably only gonna be maybe three or four things that kind of need to be talked about. There's one big important thing about the entire thing, but there's like three or four things, right? So I'd say, let's see. This isn't like a huge problem right now because it's just a beta. So I'd say number one is probably going to be the frame rate. The frame rate during the beta experience, even though I know it's a beta, I know. So the part that does get a little choppy is probably just going to be weapon drills mostly, but it does get a little choppy inside of Bot Slayer. Now Slayer, I'm not too concerned with because again, that's probably the reason why they're doing this technical alpha or beta in the first place. It just was a little bit different stylistically that I think led to a bit of the choppiness that I was saying. And again, the reason why I actually bring up that choppiness is only because I wonder slash worry a little bit if it was because I was on an original Xbox One. Not a 1S, a 1, just a 1, right? And for other people who have a 1, that might be a bit of a concern if maybe the game won't be able to handle it that high because, they're more than likely going to be developing the game to be able to run on the Series S or like PC, right? For the most part, I'd say the frame rate was questionable, but it wasn't my hugest concern as I think that's something that they're honestly going to fix, right? Here's a huge gripe. Here's a huge nitpick. I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says. So they added something in the game where when your Spartan starts running, when your Spartan starts to sprint, right? They added something in the game where they put they put blur lines on the screen or speed lines or something like that. It's the cartoonist style. I honestly, and the reason why I'm bringing it up is because the next part of this video is going to be important. This all leads up to Halo having its own identity as a key. The reason why I bring up the blur lines is because Halo in its entirety does not need blur lines. I mean, it's not blur lines or motion blur, but I think you know what I mean. It's like the little gray streaks or white streaks that pop across the screen to emphasize that the character's moving at a faster speed or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Fortnite do that? Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you're in a vehicle, I think Fortnite does that, as well as like many other like funnest style games, right? Stylistically, as a stylistic choice, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know whose I slept on this. I don't know whose decision it was to put that into the game. Please don't do that. I don't know why you guys felt the need I don't know why they felt the need to add that. Literally, don't get me wrong, like it's literally not a huge deal. But when I first played the beta and I start seeing gray streaks go across my screen, the first thing that I think are sniper rifle shots. As someone who's played the game a while, when I see a gray streak go across my screen, even for a hair second, I think that there's a sniper rifle being shot. Granted, it obviously wasn't because you hear the sound of a sniper rifle shot, But, yeah, that was just a thing that I really felt did not need to be in there at all. And I'm not gonna lie. If there's one thing you're gonna take away from this video, please, I hope they do not. I hope they get the. I hope you can take that off. Off of the HUD because there's already enough stuff going on. And again, not the hugest deal, but in terms of Halo's identity itself, that is really important because Halo, as we know, has been slowly adapting other things from other video games in order to appeal to people who are like I want to say I guess you could say newer players, or try to capitalize on those games out there that are doing things good. There are certain aspects of those battle royale games or those first person shooter games that are actually doing really good. And I don't want to say that let's say they added something where, honestly God, this is amazing, I'm not gonna lie. if you left click when you're holding the sniper rifle, you can zoom in and zoom out rather than the classic way of like zoom in, and then you have to find another way to like zoom out or whatever. You would like either bunt your gun or like switch to a different gun to like zoom out real quick if you needed to, right? I actually do like that. I'm not gonna lie. It did make me feel like they are kind of like trying to do things a little different to please to different gamers. And I have no problem with that. The thing that I just want to emphasize about this game to make sure that it always stays consistent is that Halo is a game that always had its own identity. There's a reason why I can look at someone playing Halo 3 or Halo Reach, maybe not 4 and 5 necessarily, maybe 4 and 5. I can look at someone playing Halo and I can identify that they are playing Halo. But for a brief moment when a casual person looks at someone playing this game, or even me for a brief second, you would think that I'm playing, and I really hate to say this, you for a brief second thought that I was playing another generic shooter. For a brief second, if you look away and then you look real quick, you kind of think that I'm playing a generic shooter, and it kicks in when you're doing like the, I guess you're shooting the commando because of how it shoots a little bit. The battle rifle is distinct in how it shoots. The assault rifle is distinct in how it shoots, not the battle rifle. The battle rifle is pretty good in this game, though. And with that, it's like, yeah, the identity of the game itself has to remain true. There are things there that scream Halo to me. There were some times when I was like, you know, this is some Halo right now. It's gonna take some getting used to because the way things look a little bit. The level design in this game is a little different, but I think it's a little different because we can also ledge grapple a lot of things now. We can ledge grapple and jump up on a lot of things now. But stylistically, there are things in Halo that makes it identify and stand out from all of the other shooters. All of the other shooters. And it's literally from the HUD system down to the movement of the players, down to the particles that are being displayed on the battlefield. That is everything that screams Halo. Granted, you can have the kill announcements for double kill and like killing frenzy and all that, and no scope and all that. Those things pop and make you feel like you're being a Halo player, but I honestly feel like anyone who develops a who has any company that has experience developing a first-person shooter game can easily just take the styles of the appearance of what Halo has, put them on top of their game, and try to call it Halo. And that's not what I'm saying is being done here, but there's just something a little different about this Halo that just doesn't immediately pop off as like, you know, this is Halo, you know? And it could be from looking at the Spartans when they're sitting there and like presenting formation with their hands across their back and everything, like they're in the UNSC Academy. I can get that. Honestly, I've always wanted a game where I play as either the Marines or ODST. Everyone loves ODST. There's nothing you're gonna say about that. Everyone would prefer playing as an ODST rather than a goddamn Spartan sometime, you know? But yeah, the one thing that I want to always emphasize out of this entire video through the beta that I felt was I hope that this game continues to keep its identity. And I'm not sure what else I can actually say to emphasize this. I'm not going to say it's the addition of armor skins and rarities in between them. I'm not going to say it's that. I'm not going to say that maybe they got the idea of the grappling hook from either Doom Guy or that robot guy from Apex Legends. I'm not going to say that. What I am just trying to say is this. Between having a consistent frame rate as well as a consistent level of elements that shine and pop as Halo, when you have the consistency of things that make Halo Halo, which is basically like not a dumbed down shooter, but like not, fuck am I trying to say here? Okay, I know what I'm trying to say. Okay, I think I know what I'm trying to say. During the beta, I still had the urge to play Master Chief Collection. And the reason why was because that level of, maybe it's a level of familiarity, but the level of the identity of the game that I can just identify with. If Halo Infinite comes out and I still feel the urge to play Master Chief Collection, if I still feel the urge to play Halo Reach because of how it feels and how it shoots and how simplistic it is, if I feel the need to play Halo 4 because it's a little bit more of a faster pace than Halo 3 or Halo Reach, but stylistically the map and the level design screams Halo to me. If I want to go back to Halo Reach after playing Infinite, that's going to tell you something. And I think I can speak for a lot of Halo fans when I honestly say that. Like, the game will need to have its style and appearance and everything else about it that makes it Halo. Granted, everything is there, but there's just something about it from when I'm looking at it that just doesn't pop off as like, yo, that dude's playing a Halo game. There are moments that seem like it's just another shooter, and that's the entire thing that just worries me. It's not honestly going to be like whether they fix the frame rate or whether they do it as a games as a service or whether they're going to have like too many rarities. It's not going to be a pay to win game or anything like that, but that is the one thing that worries me. Will this game keep its identity enough to separate it from all the other generic shooters out there in the franchise? And you know what I mean. Will it separate itself from looking like Cold War in any way? Because there was a moment when I was watching the gameplay trailer, and I thought it's the one map in the desert. It's like the desert. It's like the desert map. It's the one map right there where I thought for a second that I was watching some Cold War or some Warzone gameplay. I'm sorry, I really did for a second. But I really hope that with over time that does change. I really, really do, man. I really, really do. Because like I said, it has to be, and maybe it's just the maps, in my opinion. But the maps in Halo have always been like alien, like alien and futuristic space tech maps. Granted, you can be in like a space bunker and shooting stuff up and everything, right? We've done that before, but like the maps on Halo have always been like vast alien worlds where like I've never been on this planet before, I've never been on this planet. This planet looks unrecognizable, That's what I mean by the identity style of everything. I hope they continue to keep that because that is what makes Halo Halo. That is going to determine the price tag. Whether you can call it whatever, infinite, but if it don't feel like Halo, I don't give a freak what it is. If it don't feel like Halo, you can call it Halo Infinite all you want, but if it doesn't feel like Halo or look like Halo, or if it doesn't make me feel like I'm playing Halo, that's just going to be it. That's just going to be it. I hope that rant was a lot shorter than what I usually do, but for the most part, you guys remember who I am, right? I call myself Chaos the Gamer. And yeah, GG's. Really hope this game is what I hope it will be around the holiday. And yeah, thanks for watching as always.